Good, buddy. Hey, Tay, just talk about UAB. What have you seen from them? I mean, obviously they didn't play because of situations last week, but a little bit. What have you seen from them on the film you've seen so far?
Um, we start film today, but based off statistics as a team, they like to score the ball. They have around like 3 or 4 players that's scoring in double digits. So I feel like our first thing is to start on the defensive side when we play against them.
Hey, what did you guys take away from the UTEP series?
Just learning that because the games are back to back, it's more so a mental preparation. Learning how to give it your all, back to back games, resting your body, and just being able to play defense first because there's going to be times in the game where we're fatigued and we're just going to have to get stops in order to win the game.
Tay, I guess, kind of going off what Glenn said right there, talking about back to back, how hard is it in conference, say, because of the schedule? How difficult is it going to be? It doesn't matter if you're home or away, but to sweep a team because of the way you're playing back to back like that. And have you ever had an experience like this before, or is this going to be a new learning curve for you as well?
Well, it's kind of hard just due to the fact that we're playing the same team back to back, knowing they're going to make adjustments, vice versa. But I feel like just as long as we're mentally locked in, we can be able to sweep a team. I feel like that's the goal this weekend against UAB. And honestly, I haven't done this since AAU, so it's been a little minute.
Yeah, it's kind of like walking into tournament ball every weekend. You just play.
Right.
Hey, coming out of the UTEP series, what do you guys as a team and yourself personally, what are you concentrating on and working on, coming out of that series?
Just the winning mentality, knowing that it's not okay to split a series. We want to win every game as many as we can. First thing is defense. We pride ourselves on being dogs on the defensive side, being efficient scoring, and just limiting turnovers. I think that was one of our problems in the second game. So we just been practicing that this past week.
What do you think in that first game, that first UTEP game? What was the catalyst in the comeback there? What was that one thing that clicked for you guys? 45 seconds left to turn the corner.
Just our energy, knowing that we want to win the game. We just want to win. Just having that mental standpoint where we gotta be dogs and the game ain't over until the last bell rings. For the most part.
Anything else for Tay?
Thanks, Tay.
Thanks,
you. Tay.
No problem.
Have a good one.
All right.
Got to nod, take care.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Denijay, Coach Ladner keeps talking about in post-game pressers and even in pressers talking about how well you played defense this year. Can you talk a little bit about your preparation there and what goes into, you're the guy that they put their best offensive player on. What type of preparation do you go through for that?
Well, it started at practice. Like, I just like to set the tone, like just bring the energy to the team. I just know my role, and I just try to translate it to the game, bringing the same energy from practice.
Denijay, in junior college, it seemed like you were a little more of a face of the basket kind of guy, but now in this system, your role's kind of you've really been cleaning the glass for your ball club. Can you talk about, what's made you such a great rebounder? Has it been work with Coach Spoon or some of the coaches and what you've learned about body position, blocking out and getting those rebounds?
Really, it's just energy. Like, I'm more of an energy guy. And, like, with me bringing the energy, it take care of everything. Like, it helped me get in position for rebounds. It helped me be able to guard guys. It just take care of a lot.
a lot, of course, defensively rebounding. That's what sometimes lost art maybe in basketball these days. Who are guys that you look at, maybe past NBA players or current? Who are guys you look at and tailor your game after?
I won't say I have like his exact specific game, but like I kind of like his play style. Like, Dennis Rodman, he was one of the guys that have good defense and was able to rebound. And he wasn't, a big guy, same as me. I'm not such a big guy, but I'm still getting in position to rebound and defend guys that are bigger than me.
They're disruptive. They want to be disruptive. They're not. I tried to compare it on a interview. Gosh, I can't remember exactly. I've done so many. They're not like a Virginia type team, just sound, always sitting in front of you. Their style is more disruptive. They want to score 80 or 90 points. So what they want to do is create turnovers and chaos, as opposed to a Virginia pack line style defense they're just going to make it hard for you to ever get an open shot. And so they're more built on turnovers and taking you out of rhythm and pattern, trying to speed you up. But very, very similar to style to Ole Miss. And I tell you this, though, watching them on film, they are they're not that Andy always ran good offense, but they're very detailed in on their offense, more so than he was at Ole Miss. Probably at Ole Miss, he felt like maybe he had a little more freedom of play because they were maybe more talented, or maybe he felt like they were. And of course, a lot of Andy's teams were very talented at Ole Miss. But I've been impressed too on of course with their defense, but on the offensive end, how they were very detailed in what they were running. So my hat's off to him there.
Jay, what were some of the main takeaways from the UTEP series that you guys came into this week? Said, we got to give this some more attention. Particularly maybe turnovers, things of that nature.
Yeah. Well, you hit the first one. Of course, you stated the obvious, and we've got to do a better job taking the ball. I don't want to say it cost us that game. Look, UTEP's got a very good team. I was, if you'd have told me middle of last week we could get a split, I'd have jumped all over that. Of course, once we won the first one, I, being selfish and short memory, I wanted to win both, and we needed to win both. And it came down to that second game there. Second half, I should say, of the second game. Of course, we were down one at the halftime of the second game. But of course, we got to do a better job. I thought when you look at the film, Glenn, our turnovers were just casual and errant, and we turned it over two of the first three times we had the ball, and they were both just bad. They were more, as I told our players in practice yesterday, they were mental mistakes more than physical mistakes, and that was concerning. And so I just didn't think our approach was good. We didn't make good decisions with the ball, but you're not going to beat any good team having a negative 15 turnover differential, and that's what it was in Saturday's game. And the same thing in football. Gosh, you go turn it over 5 times, and the other team doesn't throw an interception or fumble, you're not going to win that game probably. So we turned it over 18 times. UTEP 3 in that second game, and of course that there's your margin. But anyway, because our other numbers were good. We rebounded the ball well, like we have. We shot 54% against a really good, one of the better defensive teams we played. We just didn't get enough shots. We shot it 39 times, and because we turned the ball over. So that's one. Of course, the second one, I thought that for the first time our defense broke down a little bit, especially with our starting group. Who they've been really, really good. But they, and again, some of that has to do with UTEP now. Trust me, they're a very talented team. But in the first half of the second game, First Media, we always look at opponent field goal percentage. They were shooting in the First Media. So this is starter versus starter. They were at 73% First Media. And then in the second half of the first game, when we restart the second half again, basically an even game. We'd kind of righted ourselves in the first half. Second half, they were shooting 100%. So that's two things. That's been our big emphasis the last couple of days since we took off Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. It was turnovers, ball security, to borrow a football term, and doing a better job of getting back to where we were defensively, establishing ourselves.
Coach, I kind of asked Tae this a little bit, but with the conference schedule the way it is, do you see, and with the divisions, do you see the winner of the divisions maybe being more than 2 or 3 games above 500, and how close it's going to be because of the back-to-back games and how hard it's going to be to sweep? Do you think that
I think
that's
me
something
if
you're
I'm
going to
wrong,
see?
Heath, and David, of course, is sitting in here too. But I think we only had one team sweep and one. Yeah. Of course, then you had one team get swept. So, that's pretty significant right there. It is very difficult. Again, we were. If you'd have told me on Wednesday, Heath, of last week, as much as I was impressed with UTEP, that we could split with them, I'd have taken it all day. Then when you get that, you go, gosh, if we could just get 2, what that would mean for us in terms of the long-term standings. But the teams that could go get 2 are going to give them a significant advantage. It's very difficult to beat a good team or a league team, like you said, twice within 24 hours. It really is. And that's kind of where we are. We may be slightly on the downside of it in terms of being the underdog probably most of the time, according to Las Vegas or whoever makes those decisions. But that's got to be what we got to fight for. We got to make sure we get 1 and do everything we can to get 2. But I agree with you, Heath. I don't think there's going to be anybody with the way it's set up. Anybody just going to have some, I don't think you're going to see anybody with a 16-2, 15-3. As good as Western Kentucky is and talented as they are, they split. And look, Charlotte, I think the first one went into overtime or went right down to the wire. So they were close to getting swept, as were we.
Coach, now that you have that back-to-back scenario under your belt now, is there any new strategy or something you learned going into this next set that you'll take, maybe in terms of substituting, keeping guys' legs fresh that second game?
Yeah, it's a work in progress there, and again, we're still early enough. I think our legs are. I know they are. We're still in good condition and fresh, but I think Glenn, as we go on, as we get deeper into it, that's going to be something that you're going to have to consider. And I do, but I tell you this, on the other side, I feel good about our depth. In fact, it was our second group that stabilized things on Saturday and got us really back in the game. I say back in the game. It wasn't like we were getting blown out of there, but made up a big deficit and went ahead. It was that group that got it done. So I feel good about our depth. I think we're about 12 guys that we could really put in now with Mark Jackson back healthy. I think we've got about 12 guys we can get in there. So I think that will bode well for us as we go through this thing.